Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm gonna be seeing Southpaw. I know nothing, I've seen nothing. It's something to do with boxing. Let's go! That's what I get for going in with an open mind, I guess. Boy. This wasn't Magic Mike levels of dull, but it was dull. Really dull. And for different reasons than Magic Mike. Magic Mike was just exploitative bullshit. This was torture porn. Not sure how else you can put it. God. I've seen the Human Centipede movies, the first two. The second one, towards the end, it goes on, it throws so much shit at you, pun intended, and it gets, like, so over the top with all the gore and the terrible, horrible imagery being shown to you, that it starts to become kind of silly. And unintentionally so. It's just so much stuff is happening that you can't help but feel it's fake. And that it's, like, comical. And with this, like, it goes on for, like, 40 minutes. Feels like fucking forever. Of just constant depressing stuff happening. Like, it started off just kind of like, this is okay. And then, yeah, his wife dies. His daughter gets taken away from him. He can't hold down a job. His life's going down the toilet. Everything. His daughter hates him now. He's lost his boxing career. He's lost everything. Everything is all sad. God, it won't relent. I think after the 40 minutes, they gave, there was, a 5-minute break of, actual character development happening, and then more sad things coming up, and just, God, it gets so dull after a while. Eventually, even though this did have a pretty good lead-in to it, you do see his connection to his wife and kid and stuff, you see that love there. After a while, you just don't give a crap anymore. It just leads to that. And that's the main thing with this. Just, I can't stand it anymore. I can't. Anyway, I mean, okay, and on top of that, it is a sports movie, and it follows I can't believe it. Last episode I was talking the romantic comedy formula, now it's the sports movie formula, which is almost as bad, except it does deviate a little more often than the romantic comedy, so it's only my second least favorite genre, the sports movie. And to me, several different movies fall under the idea of sports movie. Pitch Perfect 2 is a sports movie, in my opinion. Essentially, I'm going to be speaking the singular version of this. They're team sport movies, and so just, if you want the team sport formula, just pluralize everything I say. So instead of he does this, it's they do this. Ooh, there you go, that's the huge difference. Okay, so we have a protagonist, this guy who's down on his luck, or possibly he was great, but now he's not. We pretty much just start at the bottom here. And then he gets his chance, he starts building himself up, he turns his life around, all of his problems start to go away, until everything rests on this one final chance at success. And doing that, they succeed in accomplishing he succeeds in accomplishing his goals, and everybody's happy at the end. Everything's awesome. That's every sports movie ever. See, that's even simpler than the romantic comedy plot there. Now, you might think, oh, well, Rocky, that differentiates. No, Rocky's the worst of them all. He does technically lose in the end, but he succeeds in his goal, which was trying. I don't like that movie very much either, by the way. It's probably the most overrated movie of all time. But, nonetheless, this... At At least with all those other sports movies, I don't know, like Rocky 2, like all the Rocky movies, like, I don't know, Angels in the Outfield, I don't know if that counts, Bad News Bears, and, I don't know, Meet the Titans, they all have that same plot. But you know what? They're kind of fun, a little. They're interesting. You give a shit. The worst part is when the sports movie just fails to keep your interest. It's just like the romantic comedy, where the only reason to go see it is for the jokes. The only reason to see a sports movie is for the characters. And it just hammers it down. It's so badly written, so badly directed, it just doesn't get that. There were no bad performances, by the way. It's just so terribly paced. It's 2 hours and feels like 2 years. I couldn't stand it. Honestly, I was checking my watch the whole time. But I didn't fall asleep, though. It wasn't Magic Mike. It did keep the plot going, but something I have to point out for people who might defend this. Every time, there's certain beats there's other beats that sports movies usually follow, which is, I'm gonna give you a chance, right? See? Giving you a chance. Or, come on, you gotta do this one thing for me. Now, here's the thing. Most movies, this is how it goes. You gotta give me a chance. I'm gonna give you this one chance. Guys, like, I'm gonna take it and improve myself, right? That's how most movie goes. This movie thinks it's edgy, though, because every time something like that, some plot point like that happens, something that you know, oh, he's gonna pick this up. This is what happens. He says, no, fuck you, I'm not gonna do that. Next scene, I'm doing that. Every fucking thing. It feels, this movie honestly was probably like a 70-minute script, but they just pumped it up by adding all this unnecessary bullshit of, like, alright, I can give you a job as my janitor. You think I'm only good enough to be a janitor? Fuck you! Next scene, can I buy you a beer? I'm gonna take that job. Fuck! Why didn't you just go with that? Like, seriously. Instead, they just beat around the bush and waste our time. God, this didn't need to be a 2-hour movie. What the fuck? At one point, this kid dies, but it's so badly, like, the scene where it happened is so, where the news is broken to us, is so badly directed that at first I didn't even register anything sad had happened. I was like, oh. God, it's a terrible, terrible movie. Unforgivably bad. It's not worth your time. The ending is kind of bullshit. I don't know much about boxing, I'll admit. Maybe there's some rules I'm overlooking here, but if you're in a boxing match that goes on for 13 rounds, and you get the shit beaten out of you, like every shot we saw of our lead character, he was just getting the shit beaten out of him, almost continuously, and then at the end he like punches the guy out. Yet he won. Like they said, oh, he has slightly more points, you win. And our lead character won. I don't know much about boxing, but I'm pretty sure you would lose. I'm pretty sure it's based on points, right? Like, how... But no, they said, oh yeah, they have the same amount of points. Why didn't you show us that then? You showed us every other thing. God. Yeah, it's really cliched, really dull, really tired, badly directed, badly written. I can't recommend it unless you might be a really big fan of the actors, because as I said, there's no bad performances, but terrible, terrible directing. So, yeah, I barely sat through it. And until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you've been watching a Dyer-Situation.